Hello and welcome to the Community Producers on Shaw TV. I'm Mark Hanley. Community Producers is a program that showcases stories from the North Island told by local producers. Today we're going to find out about a summer full of entertainment in Comox. There's new cycling information for the Comox Valley. I got some baby birds coming up. And we're going to swim like a fish in Perseverance Creek. More on that later. But first, Sandra Milligan from the Greenway Land Trust with the ongoing struggle of fighting invasive species here in Campbell River.
Today we're going to meet the top 5 invasive plants in Campbell River. Invasive plants are plants that have been moved from their native place to a new place where they grow much, much better. They grow so much better that they can have tremendous negative environmental impacts. They typically outcompete all the native plants and they degrade habitat. Forms a dense mat in the understory, in the lowest levels, and this blocks growth of larger plants like shrubs and trees. So for example, this Doug fir will have been dropping cones and seeds down here, hoping to create seedlings that will grow to replace this tree when it gets old. Where you have lamium, however, the seedlings can't grow. And so we have no young trees that will be able to replace this mature tree when it reaches the end of its life. Ivy parasitizes large trees, so it sends little tiny roots into the tree trunk to attach to the sap. However, the concern for us in Campbell River is that the ivy adds a huge amount of mass to the tree. So when we get a big wind coming in from the ocean, this tree is going to be a lot more susceptible to wind damage and falling down than it would be if it wasn't carrying this huge excess mass of ivy. Knotweed is a problem because it forms dense thickets and blocks out native plants and degrades streamside habitat. So in particular, it's a really risky plant for salmon habitat. Knotweed has pretty shallow roots, so when the water comes and washes up on here, we end up with bank erosion. Fun invasive plant removal job is cutting the flower heads of the yellow flag iris. So that's a great job where you can spend an hour cutting off flower heads so that these don't reseed and create new plants. It's the easiest invasive plant removal project that Greenways has. This plant is cow parsnip. Cow parsnip is not invasive, but cow parsnip looks very similar to a very dangerous invasive plant called giant hogweed. Giant hogweed looks basically exactly like this, except everything about it is giant. So the flowers get to be 1.5 meters in size. The leaves can be about 1 meter in size, and it can grow to be about 5 meters tall. Now, if you think you see giant hogweed, please call Greenways Land Trust, or you can call the Ministry of Forests. We have no giant hogweed currently in town. If we did, we'd have a SWAT team come out. Our early detection rapid response team would come out and deal with it within 24 hours. The reason for that is that giant hogweed is incredibly toxic. If I were to rub my hand on the leaf or the stem, it's got little tiny hairs that have a toxin that cause disfiguring permanent burns. It has phototoxicity, so if the sap on the skin gets exposed to the light, somebody can be disfigured for life. So if you're interested in learning more about invasive plants, you can visit our website at Greenways Land Trust, or the Coastal Invasive Species website, or give us a call, and we would love to get you involved in any of our invasive species programs.
Big thanks to the folks at Greenway Land Trust, not only for that story, but for the valuable work they're doing in controlling invasive species. Now, I know it's high summer, and we don't often think about school right now, but we have a story from Aspen Elementary. They've been running a program there called Grin Buddies for a number of years now, as a matter of fact, and it has a profound influence on the students. Here's Andrina Kasholte with Grin Buddies.
Can going to school sometimes be a little mundane? Yes. Is a field trip day an exciting day at school? Yes. Aspen Elementary students have a field trip. It's their monthly field trip to the Views.
My buddy's name is Norma. When I come into the room, she'd be like, "Hi, Carly."
The Grin Buddy program is an organized program between Aspen Elementary and those seniors that live at the Views.
One of the best parts is I get to miss school for it. And also, she's just really welcoming, and she loves it when I come, and I love it when I come because I feel like we always have so much to catch up on, so it's really good to talk to her after a month.
I just really like bonding with my Grin Buddy. Me and Sue have a lot in common. We talk about things. She likes art. I really like art. We have quite a few things in common. I just really like the bonding in it.
And it's a celebration.
Brenda Phillips is not only the director of this program, but she's also a writer. She wrote a wonderful workbook that's given to students.
I think it's the connection to the community and a connection to the younger generation. We have a number of our residents here that don't have grandchildren that live in the immediate area, so it's nice for them to adopt a grandchild and adopt a friend, really, for the whole year. And I think it's really important for that friendship to develop over the course of the school year and maybe beyond the school year too. So I think that's the most important part of it.
I feel really good, and I feel it's really nice to have met a relation with someone like Wilma, who's really upbeat and really uplifting, and she always sends a nice warm goodbye.
We do a variety of things, don't we? We sometimes do artwork, and we sometimes do musical chairs sort of thing. Make butter, yes, that was one.
We also have one resident who's kept in touch with his buddy for over 10 years. He's now at university, and he comes in, when he comes home, he always comes and chats with his buddy that he had in grade 6.
And sometimes I come over here with my mom when we're just walking the dogs by, and we say hi, and she gets really happy when I come by, and it's just fun to do sometimes.
It sure is nice to leave school, isn't it? To have a field trip and enjoy your field trip and meet new friends and learn new ideas and talk and listen and bond with someone that you wouldn't perhaps normally meet. In the Comox Valley for Shaw TV, I'm Andrina Kasholte.
School field trips. Learning happens in so many ways. Thanks, Andrina, for that story. Andrina is one of our regular producers here at Shaw TV, and if you think you'd like to be a producer, please contact us. We're always looking for people who are interested in telling stories. I did promise you at the top of the hour that we'd have baby birds, so let's check in on the Mars Wildlife Rescue Center, where they not only had to deal with baby bird season this year, but construction too. I'm standing in the field of the new home of the Mars Wildlife Rescue Center, and this is truly a work in progress in so many ways. They're saving birds, and they're building a future here. It's baby season, and they sure have lots. The Rescue Center gets a lot of calls at this time of the year about baby birds that appear to be abandoned. Often, that is not the case.
So right now we get a lot of calls about young crows and ravens. So far it's mostly been ravens, but crows, ravens, Steller's jays, robins, there's many species of bird. They don't actually get flight directly from the nest. they leave the nest, and then they hide in the forest, run around on the ground, and that's where they build up the cardio for flight. So we'll get a lot of calls about a robin's in my garden, just standing there looking, unafraid, but essentially the little babies are naive. They have no fear of predators yet. All they know is mom's gonna come back and feed me food. So we get a lot of those calls, and we advise the people, if the crow looks fine, looking normal, not dragging a wing or anything else, more than likely the parents are in the area.
One of the most interesting things about the new wildlife hospital is global. It's an enclosure for small songbirds to help them to recuperate before they be released back into the wild. It's a fascinating little structure that took hundreds of hours of volunteer time to produce.
So global is kind of our enclosure where birds that are non-predatory, that won't hurt each other, that's where they'll all live together. So it's typically our little songbirds from a robin down. Anything bigger than a robin tends to be a little crabby, and even though he's not a predator, he may be aggressive or chase them away from their food. So it's the little birds who can live in a communal environment.
There are many challenges facing the society right now, not the least of which is carrying on construction.
The winter that never ended has been probably a problem that we couldn't foresee. We had so much snow, so much moisture that we were forced to bring in. You'll see little piles of dirt and fill everywhere. So we were bringing in truckloads of fill, all kinds of gravel, just to cope with the weather. We're $20,000 in debt now in the hole that we have to raise. We just don't have it, and we need to raise it somehow. So that's the biggest problem facing us.
It's clear that the folks here at Mars are really dedicated, and they could sure use your help, whether it's in time or donations. Please consider donating to Mars. In the short run, they're not accepting visitors. There's just a little too much going on. Check out their website. I'm Mark Hanley at the Mars Wildlife Rescue Center in the Comox Valley. Being in the global enclosure with those baby birds was really quite a fascinating experience, I have to say. And it's one of the many I've experienced as a volunteer at Shaw TV. I've crawled through the belly of HMCS Calgary. I've waded in the water as fisheries workers catch salmon for harvesting of eggs. Earlier this year, I got to go out with the Mars folks as they released an eagle. It was really quite inspiring. If you think volunteering for Shaw might be for you, get a hold of us, please. We're going to take a break now and give you a spotlight or two, and I'll be back.
Request access to air your content on the community producers. Volunteer with us. Join a free TV workshop. Check out these websites.
Hello and welcome back to the Community Producers, this week coming to you from Campbell River. I'm Mark Hanley. Up next, Judy Murakami to give us the lowdown on entertainment in Comox this summer.
Summer in the Comox Valley is so much fun because here at the Philbrick Heritage Lodge and Park, we have outdoor concerts. We've got the Philbrick Festival and everything under the sun. So the grounds actually belong to the town of Comox. So from dawn to dusk, it's like any other park. You're welcome to come in and walk around the grounds, have a picnic, enjoy the view. And then for special events, of course, there is admission charges. Here's Brooklyn Galloway, who is the media events and marketing coordinator, to tell you about them.
So this summer we have our 35th annual Philbrick Festival happening. And we're also celebrating 35 years of music in the park because Philbrick Festival, although it's arts, craft, and music, it does have a fantastic lineup of artists coming. We have our Live in Philbrick Park concerts going on. We have 3 dates. We have Jesse Roper coming July 27th. We have August 4th, Delhi to Dublin coming, and August 24th, we have Ashley McIsaac coming from all the way from the other side of the country. And then into the fall, we have our annual Apple Press Party. Everything harvesting at home goes on throughout the park.
Because this park operates with a lot of volunteers, the tours, the gift shop, and the summer kitchen are open Thursdays to Sundays here in summertime.
The lodge itself is open for tours and hosts a gift shop, and that's 100% volunteer run. They're here to give tours. We fundraise through our gift shop. Items are donated and curated by our gift shop manager, Val, and people can come and look through that as part of the tour. We have volunteers helping in the park, with aspects of the gardens. We have volunteers helping with the history and looking after the archives and the materials that we have and organizing it. And then of course there's the Philbrick Festival, which probably has the largest number of volunteers, and that's the longest running fundraising event that we do here.
So for more information, if you'd like to either get involved as a volunteer, get your membership, or find out more about what's coming up, go to philbrick.com. From the Comox Valley, this is Judy Murakami for Shaw TV.
Well, it's certainly clear that you won't be bored in Comox this summer. One of the popular ways to get around to events in the Comox Valley is by bicycle, and the Cycling Coalition has new information about trails in and around the Comox Valley. Here's Sue Vince.
The Comox Valley Cycling Coalition is looking for new cycling routes and trails and needs your help. The original data for the Comox Valley digital and Z-card maps came from our cycling community. Our community effort was really meant to help newcomers and tourists find our best cycling routes. However, our cycling maps turned out to be beneficial for long-term residents too.
People have said that they've lived here for years, 30 years, and they've cycled all the time, and they've looked on the map and realized that there was a trail that they knew nothing about. I live in the Crown Isle area, and as many people would know, that the intersection between Ryan Road and Lerwick is a fairly uncomfortable intersection on a bicycle. I discovered that behind Costco in the new development down at the roundabout, they have actually put in additional trails, paved trails, which could take you either down into the subdivision or up towards the new hospital, which would just mean that you could have completely avoid that big intersection. If you don't happen to live in a particular area, you may not know about quieter roads, you may not know about trails that cut through. So it's really nice if you're trying to go somewhere to be able to look and say, oh, there's a cut through there, I could take that, it would be a lot pleasanter. And I think this trail is a very good example of that. So we're always looking for additional information. It would be really helpful if people could send us the information about trails or routes that they know that they are not finding on our map, so that we can then go and GPS those and add them to the next iteration of the map.
If you know of a cycling route or trail that should be on our map, our website contact form is a great way to reach us and help us keep our cycling map up to date.
I'm one of those local cyclists who's found new information from the Cycling Coalition, so check it out. Some of you out there may be familiar with Perseverance Creek in the Cumberland Community Forest. I'm sure many of you are not. But today, you're going to be introduced to the creek in a way, well, none of us have ever seen it before. Thanks to Sean Piggott at Fox & Bee, here is Perseverance Creek diving. That trip down Perseverance Creek was just too much fun. Thanks, Sean Piggott, Fox and Bee. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our show today. I've sure enjoyed bringing it to you. This is the Community Producers on Shaw TV, and I'm Mark Hanley in Campbell River.
Request access to air your content on the Community Producers. Volunteer with us. Join a free TV workshop. Check out these websites.